Force on Force features the largest and strongest outdoor military organization in the country. These are the men and women who make it possible to enjoy the freedom to hunt and fish. It is with great pride that we bring you Force on Force podcast, coming to you from the Force on Force Talk.
Hey, welcome to the Force on Force podcast. We're in the Force on Force Talk. I'm your host, Shawn Dalrymple, and we're back in my favorite talk. We're on the road. So we got a group of guys here. We got the infamous Rory, Layne, and the one and only Robert Richards, the only multi-series champion at Force on Force. How you guys doing?
I'm doing great. I'm glad you had me back finally.
We're doing good.
So we're here at the Oldfields Helping Hands Tournament down here in Port O'Connor. This is actually my first time ever down here. I know Roy's been here. I know Robert's been here. So I'm here. We got a nice little Airbnb. We got River, and we got Archer. It's been a fun day. It's we were gonna go do some fishing this morning, you know,
but the weather didn't cooperate.
So we'd be remiss if we wouldn't talk that this podcast is brought to us by our partners at Dakota Lithium Batteries. You know, they
I know somebody that locked them under lock and key and a big old cable and everything. Said, no one's stealing my batteries.
They are. You know, we could talk about that. You know, that's Robert doesn't want anybody to know, but yes, they're part of our partnership. And, you know, we think about this. They got this great thing. They gave us this PS 2400 we powered the boots with and everything. And, you know, we got the lithium batteries, and we was actually at the Skiers Owners Tournament. Everybody lost power last week, and we still have power. Robert's got these, you know, how many Dakotas you got?
I got two in the boat. I got a 36 volt for my power pole move motor, and I have a 12 volt 54 dedicated for my Lowrance.
So he's running a saltwater boat, and it's not, I don't think our bass boats have any way of locking the battery compartment back there. So Robert's got this elaborate system that he's just come up with, like bike locks to lock his batteries on the saltwater boat.
They're cable locks.
They're cable locks, right? So anyways, we're going to go, you know, I'm just out teasing him, having a hard time last night about locking these up, right?
Yeah, well, was out there, you know, upgrading
his Lowrance.
And he was getting his rod and reels in there and stuff for us to go fishing more and getting everything ready and all that. And then I don't know why he left that box out there. And
well, let's back up. First of all, my first question I always get is, hey, I need you to update my Lowrance graphs. I don't know how to do it. And I'm always like, put the SD card in the graph and hit the power button, and it'll update.
All by itself. So we worked through. I guess that overwhelmed this Marine we got here. He's not even want to talk about it.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
He don't want to talk about it. So sometime during the night, it started thundering pretty loud, and there was some rain involved.
Oh yeah, he rolls over and goes, "That's just heat lightning."
Yeah. No, it was pretty good. What time did you go to bed because of all the thundering?
1:30.
Oh yeah. So it's like 1:30. We was gonna give him go fishing this morning, so the alarm went off and everything, and I took the dogs out to go potty, and it was blowing. I'm talking, the wind was coming, so
it was 20 plus.
We made
sustained with gusts to 30.
Yeah, we made the decision after I walked back inside to just lay back down and go to sleep. And so we was sometime after that, we got up and we got some coffee. I decided to go outside with the dogs, and I walk over to Robert's boat and I'll drink my coffee on stand on the front edge of my boat, on his boat there. And I looked and I said, well, I guess if someone didn't worry about, they sure didn't want their battery stolen. They really didn't care much about their wallet being stolen.
All the credit card, everything out there, money.
Laid on the front deck of his boat. He went to all that trouble to lock up that the battery. He left his wallet, and it is soaking wet.
It wasn't the first time I've ever done that, but the other time wasn't really my fault.
Yeah.
This one was as we call in the military, a brain fart.
Yeah. You should have seen his face when I walked in. I said, hey, Robert, is this your wallet? He was like, "Did I leave that out there?" Yes, you did.
I should have known. I should have looked at my hat because everything goes in my hat. Evidently not.
Yeah, it was soaking wet. Right. Yeah. So that's how our day started.
Yeah.
So we've been asking Robert what his wallet sat all day long because it's been drying out.
He's got a blue $10 bill.
Yeah,
I don't know where the dye come from.
I have no idea what. I've never seen a $10 bill be this color. I asked him, was it real? After that,
It probably just bled through. One of them credit cards just bled out.
yeah. So yeah, we're down here in the Oldfields Helping Hands Tournament. It's kind of similar to the Toby tournament that we do up at Toledo Bend.
Except for just salt water.
Just saltwater. Yeah, saltwater. Really scratches the itch for our Army redfish type stuff down here, saltwater side of all our stuff that we do, and get to meet a lot of great people as part of that. We had a great weekend last weekend. You know, tell about the Skeeter's Owners Tournament there, Roy. You know, you and Chuck cooked a lot of
Oh, we cooked over 100 steaks, over 100 baked potatoes. And then we had Ty Frederick there that made this famous crawfish etouffee, and it was out of this world.
It was good stuff. So the cool part about this was we had some of the Elite Series pros that were in for the Skeeter's Owners Tournament. The Skeeter kind of set this up. We were going to do this dinner, and they actually gave the pros their belt buckles for qualifying for the previous Bassmaster Classic. And then Brandon Polnick celebrated this daughter's 3-year-old birthday as part of that. So it's pretty cool to.
It was an awesome night. It was a great night. Everybody had fun, enjoyed food and everything.
Yeah. And Skeeter rolled out their new FXE boat that they got. So
if you haven't seen it, you need to go look at it or look at the videos that you can find on there. It's going to be an awesome boat on the water.
Yeah, at a great price point to we posted a picture of one of them, kind of my color choice that I like as part of that. So yeah, it was a fun event last week at Skeeter's Owners Tournament.
Yeah, and the winner of the whole event come over and even bought Motormate for his brand new boat.
Yeah, we're trying to pack up the trailer, and we gotta get a Motormate out. We sold a lot of thump gel there.
Yes.
Don't know about the thump gel stuff. It's pretty good stuff along the way. Yeah.
A lot of amps.
Yeah, a lot of amp stuff. We were right there, had the amp guys with us. We sold a lot of amp stuff going through it.
If you need your boat organized, you need to go see them.
And we sold a couple of big Phoenix flashlights along the way.
Oh, yeah. They just walked up and said, I want it.
I know. That's been the biggest surprise along the way, you know? So that it was a good time at the owners tournament last week. And now we took a couple of days off, and we're down here. We're going to do a little fishing tomorrow.
And Saturday. Well, it ends Friday night, but we're going to go fishing Saturday. We deserve that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Robert is fishing more on the saltwater side now, aren't you?
Yeah, these days, yeah. My wife would bass fish with me, but it wasn't her thing. And she grew up down here in this area. She wanted a saltwater boat, so we got a saltwater boat. And we pretty much, during the summer, we fish 2 to 3 weekends a month. We go and get an Airbnb and we go fishing. And we like it because we keep and eat the fish. So it's.
Yeah. And I do have the distinction of catching the first sheephead out of his boat.
Yeah. It was a big one. Yeah. I finally caught one the other weekend, but apparently they're as good as red snapper. They say, I don't know. We're going to cook it up here in this next week. I'm going to try it out, but we should catch some fish tomorrow regardless, but.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, you know.
If not, we're going to blame it on our guides.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. You don't think I won't? Watch me.
Well, Rory said he doesn't like to fish with live bait, so we ain't going to get any live bait. Maybe Saturday we'll get some live bait.
Oh yeah, we can get some live bait Saturday.
We gotta be back in time for the weigh-in tomorrow, so we can only be out for a few hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Robert, you also build custom rods, also, don't you?
I do. I entered a sponsorship this year for the next 3 years with Army Bass Anglers. I build all rods. I build saltwater rods. I build offshore rods, fly rods. my most sales to the Army bass guys, of course, are bass rods, all made on blanks made in the USA. So all made one at a time, all by me.
Yeah. If y'all need a rod, you need to see Robert right over there. What's the name of your company?
Crotalus Custom Rods.
There you go. I have a hard time trying to say that.
We do have a website now.
Go to their website, buy it. Once you buy one, you'll buy about 3 more after that. That's how good they are.
Yeah, so that's actually the scientific name for rattlesnake, right?
It is.
Yeah, so if you forget the name, just look up scientific name for rattlesnake and you know you know what it is.
I couldn't even tell you how I came up with it, but it just stuck, and my daughter designed the C for it, and it's kind of went from there. And like your hobby is your guns, mine is building fishing rods, and I've got a lot too many hobbies though lately. I've been buying too many ARs. So
people like you keep me in business.
Oh yeah.
I saw someone requested me on LinkedIn, and they were just trying to find out about the stuff we did, and they were like a financial planner, and they wanted to specialize in working with, because their interest is in the outdoor industry, and they said something about they were telling me that they are trying to work with people in outdoors, and I wanted to reply back, is there anything financially responsible about people in the outdoors?
No. Nope.
I'm thinking, I don't know if there's anything financially responsible about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I always say this, it's cheaper than the therapy would cost, and we get to do a lot of things. Like for me, one of the cool things being down here, we donated a Glock 19 pistol I built with a Hawk Endurance red dot on it. And I really like that Hawk Endurance red dot. He wants water is what he wants. I got Archer barking at me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Went over there and drank it all.
Yeah, he did. But it raffled off for $2,200 tonight at the event.
For their charity.
For their charity. And I was shocked. I was like, wow.
Yeah, these guys really give back.
Yeah, they give back, and it's cool to kind of see that piece of it. And I was like, I was shocked, because I'm just like, I do it because I enjoy doing it, giving back, and everything like that. Very blessed and get to do stuff, and it's a hobby, and then we use it for the company, and so I was kind of shocked when when it went the way it did. I was like,
no, I mean, the Oldfields been really doing good, and everything, and so when the Oldfields really doing good, these guys give back to everybody, and that's why we stick with them through the ups and downs.
yeah.
I'm working on donating a couple rods to them next year.
Yeah, that'd be good, because it'd be specifically saltwater rods that they could do as part of that, and that'd be good. So it's a fun. I've never been down here to Port O'Connor, and so seeing the difference. I mean, heck, it's crazy. I was in Key West like a week and a half ago, and now I'm here in Port O'Connor. So I'm just seeing all the Gulf of America as it is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but all these coastal cities here in Texas, they all got good fishing. Every single one of them.
Yeah. So we're gonna go out and experience this. Thankfully, it'll be a little bit cooler than the last time I fished with you.
Oh yeah, that was like August.
Yeah, this is the.
It was August.
Oh, because it was the Texas Trophy.
Yeah.
Because we was at Houston at the show.
Yeah.
This is the infamous. I drove from New York to Kentucky to your house. We drove down to Houston and then set up, and then I went fished.
When you drove down to Galveston.
Yeah, I drove down to Galveston to fish. And
well, you met with the technical director of BioBoard.
BioBoard,
yeah. Patrick Akins.
Yeah, so we had to meet with him, and Robert said, he goes, instead of you meeting with him, we're going to go do a fishing trip meeting. And oh my God, it was hot.
You should see what he looked like when he got back.
It was hot. Oh my goodness, it was hot. Well, it wouldn't have been so bad, but I'd come back from New York and it was like 80. It had been like
no humidity.
No humidity. Like the high had been like 80 degrees, and I'm thinking, man, this.
And you were catching big smallies too.
Yeah, I was catching big smallies up there, and we were wearing sweatshirts up there, and no humidity. I'm just like, man, But this thing, I'm like, I'm free. There's some mornings up there, I'm freezing up there, and I come down there, and it's like 100% humidity, and
95 degrees.
oh my God, it's like, so it was so bad. I didn't even take Archer with me out there on the water. I don't ever not do that. Is not take Archer out there. And I was like, yeah, he can't endure that part of it.
Yeah, there was no breeze, no nothing.
No, there wasn't. There was nothing going on. We caught some.
I thought the weather was good. It was nice and cool and inside the convention center.
Yeah, that's one of those times where it's not the benefits to be the boss, and you have to go do those things, right? There's sometimes it's got its benefits, but that day it was not. We had fun, but it was one of those days. It was more the labor of love.
Man, I'd still been rather fishing than you coming up to the office at BioBoard, because it had took you twice as long to drive to the other side of Houston to come up there and meet us than it would have been to just drive a little bit south.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we still had a fun day. It was a good time. That was deal, and then we got to really see that power pole move trolling motor on that boat that day, and so got to play around with it, and it was pretty cool out there, and
It's quiet. My God, it's quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've taken it offshore before, and we were out snapper fishing, and the other two boats, one of them had a competitor trolling motor, and his battery and his remote died, and I sat right over the top of those snapper, and we just dropped actually it was just a big giant Carolina rig with a 4-ounce sinker and a chunk of bait, and we caught fish when the other boats couldn't, and that current was ripping out there in the ocean.
I do find it funny. Like, I always hear saltwater guys when they hear him coming, they're like, "Oh man, he's a bass guy. He's not gonna get." I'm like, you realize it's just like drop shotting or like Carolina. I always get to laughing about it. I'm like, it's not. I mean, because you back and forth. But we fish with some people, and they're like, they start giving me a hard time. I'm like, it's not a lot of difference.
Well, that's why Robert went to saltwater. Anybody can catch a saltwater fish. They can't catch a bass. They got to work at it. And
yeah, I'm retired now bass fishing. I just show up every once in a while. But
so I can add to my list. I retired.
Yeah, yeah. But no, I don't eat a lot of freshwater fish, and I grew up on the Pacific North Coast, and I like saltwater fish better for eating, but that's me. But it's just a matter. It's no different than bass fish. There's time on the water, you'll figure it out.
Yeah,
it's just there. I would say saltwater fish are more apt to bite than
Well,
and we never could use live bait, so and down here you shrimp and what is it, croaker and but
that's why he won't get live bait tomorrow for me.
Yeah, I don't want you out fishing.
No, because I'll be eating it.
Well, you could, yeah. Stop eating the bait.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him doing that. Oh, we should talk about this week. What happened this week? Tell him what you did this week.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, go ahead and share with us.
My first pedicure.
Yeah.
And
before everybody knocks it, we're going to just...
Yeah, don't knock. I knocked it and said, no, that's all for women and stuff, going in there and stuff. And I went in there and got the VIP treatment. And I was so relaxed. My feet felt so good. I felt in the chair was a massage chair. And I actually fell asleep.
We could have left it. You had no idea.
I've done that.
I was so relaxed. And my feet still feel good.
Is that what?
Yeah.
Keyed in on it because he had his feet sitting on the
no,
table?
I don't know why. I just remember like he was so anti not wanting to go do it. It was,
he thought he'd lose his man card. Huh?
Yeah, well, true story.
Well, that's what Chuck told me. I lost my man card.
Yeah, true story. When I came back from Afghanistan the first time, man, my feet were just so ate up from it. And it was really
big old cracks and splits.
Yeah, in the back.
They were deep.
Yeah, in the back of your heels, because they take that treated water that they do to treat that water so we can bathe in it, whatever. And man, it was bad. And I remember the coming back, I thought there'd be nothing, and I found out there's this thing called the athletic pedicure, and that's what that.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that got my feet back. healed up because they were awful after that.
What's the old saying? Take care of your feet to take care of you.
Yeah, I mean, so it's not like a thing. Like true story, one of the best days of fishing I've ever had, like comfort wise, was I left my buddy Bart Brimhall to practice. He's fishing the Alabama Bass Trail.
To go get his feet done.
Well, Amy came and met me. This is when we were still dating, and Amy came and met me. She had came down from Kentucky, and we were dating, and I was in Alabama. She came down, and she showed up at the boat ramp, and I got out of the boat like at 2:00, and Bart went out and practiced another 2 hours, and we went and got a pedicure together. My feet felt so good on the front deck of the boat the next day during that tournament. Caught some good fish too, you know.
I told my wife when I went home, I said, I'm going to get this done at least once a month. I mean, it just something that you just got to do and experience it. I mean, your my feet even today feel good.
That's what I told you, man. It's like, I was the same way the first time. I'm like, this is, you're thinking like, yeah, I'm going to give him a man card. But once you have it done, you're like, oh my goodness, why didn't I do this before?
Mm-hmm.
So
you kind of like my stripper pole on my boat. I never wanted to teased everybody and all around until when I got one. And now I said, why didn't I get one years ago?
Yeah, I don't think it matters how old you are that day. That thing makes it so much easier to get in and out of your boat. Like you can just like get in and out. That's so much easier. I'd much rather like go off the bow than when you got that, then you had go down the side of the boat.
It's so easy.
You're talking about the steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got the pole too. It's one thing to have the steps, but when you got the pole, it just makes
for balance, everything. I can just zip right up that thing and back down.
I'm going to get one for my boat because it's a ways up there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and what really makes it more important is when we got, now that we've got like bigger graphs and things like that, and you're trying to like step around those graphs and stuff like that. It makes a huge.
At my age, my balance ain't very good anymore either.
Well, I'm sure you bounce fine if you fall.
Well, that's the first thing when you go to the doctor. Have you fell? I said, why is everybody asking me, why did I fall?
Because you're over a certain age.
Yeah.
Slips, trips, and falls are the worst thing for the elderly.
Oh, now you're calling me elderly.
Yeah, I just broke 50, okay?
He looked old crawling out the trailer today, too.
Oh, you got a picture of this?
I was a video. I want a picture. I videoed him crawling out of the trailer today.
They take pictures and more videos of me doing things and everything. I don't bother me.
Yeah.
That was like our second Army Bass Angler Invitational when Chuck fell out of the boat. And Joe Bud just filmed him trying to get back in.
Didn't help him at all.
No, he didn't help me. Just laughed as he saw him fall in, and then
he grabbed his phone and started taking a picture. And Chuck come up out of the water, and all he seen was a camera. He said, "Joe didn't care if I was drowning or not."
Hey, you got to know what's important, man.
It's good for TV, I guess.
Yeah. That's the deal.
Oh my God.
I fell out of the boat in a Memorial tournament too. I mean, that's the first time Amy came to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I was fishing with that cadet practicing when you guys, she came in, you guys met her, and I hit a stump.
What was that one?
I was on Lake Fork. I was trolling on the trolling motor, and I turned. I can't remember like which way. I think I turned to go this way, and not the trolling motor hit a stump, but like at the below, like further back on the boat, it hit a stump when I turned. Well, when it
stopped dead,
and so all my rods were like laying. So, that jolt when it goes forward, and all I thought was I can either go in the water or I could step right smack dab in the middle of my rods, and I just chose to like. I made the choice to like let me just go ahead.
Thankfully, you didn't fall on one of them.
I know
stumps.
that was the other. Boy, I did the old airborne. I put my knees together so that when they went in together, that if I did hit something, that it wasn't gonna,
And you're lucky you didn't hit nothing that was Lake Fork
because it got rebar on some of them stumps out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, my time I got thrown off my boat was when I was on the trolling motor and went to hit spot lock, and I hit that damn suicide button.
Yeah, we've since figured out to turn off.
Yeah. I hit that and I was in the water quicker than shit. And everybody thought I caught, was a big old fish out there. Boats all around. And they was all looking when I come up and was laughing.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you a little something. So let me find it.
Yeah. Well, he's looking for that.
No.
Oh,
See at the top.
what's your master wing? I mean, your airborne wings?
Yes, I'm Marine with airborne wings. See?
Yeah, see?
Yeah,
Did you buy them out of the PX?
yeah. After I earned them.
Wait, you know, did he still have to go to Army Airborne School to do that?
Yeah, but our jump master was a Marine gunny.
Yeah. You go to Army Airborne School, you got, so actually my stick leader was that Air Force guy.
PJ.
Yeah, that's who, when I was in Airborne School, he was an Air Force guy. So, but when you go to U.S. Army Airborne School, they'll have Marines. I don't know if I ever seen a Navy guy when I was there.
No.
But there was a Marine, there was Army guys, of course, and then there was Air Force guys, instructors.
It was funny because he went by Gunnery Sergeant Airborne, and they would call him, when one of the soldiers would call him Sergeant Airborne. Boy, it got real fun.
Yeah.
I bet.
And one time they made fun of his gold wings because they didn't have the star in the reef.
Yeah, because once you get over so many jumps,
we go gold. But you have to be in a jump billet.
Yeah.
You can't, like me, I could have 20 jumps, but if I was never in a billet, I would never, they don't count.
They don't count.
Yeah.
But he was a force recon guy. So
Yeah.
he was dual cool, had bubbles and wings.
Yeah. Ours are, you got to go to jump. You can have like crap ton of jumps, but if you don't go to jump master school and you don't get your senior wings and then your master wings.
They still do the mustard star on
if it
them?
combat jump.
Yeah.
I came close, I came close to getting one of those. Half my platoon jumped in Iraq.
But you
The
did.
reason I'm being quiet because I never done it.
Did you go to air assault school?
Mm-hmm.
He did a lot of other cool stuff, but yeah.
Rode horses.
Yeah.
I was an engineer. I rode wherever I didn't have to jump out of nothing.
And so while we deployed to Iraq, they wanted to do a show of force jump, which still counts as a combat jump in Iraq, and they jumped into the combat zone. But what stunk about it was, politics plays into things.
Always.
So instead of just taking the entire platoon, they took half the platoon in my platoon sergeant and took the platoon leader and half the platoon for the other platoon, which is stupid because that goes against everything against training that you've ever done, right? Like, and like I heard that happen I knew, when I say heard, like our S3 had it happen to him when he was going into Panama in 89.
Mm-hmm.
He got pulled off. Tim McIntyre got pulled off for some freaking staff weenies at some freaking corps or something so they could get their freaking mustard stain. And he was a damn platoon leader going into Panama.
Even the platoon leader in Heartbreak Ridge got to go in with Gunny Highway.
So, yes. But we had a couple of, but that was the cool thing about Jumping Joe Votel. When I was a company commander, he used to go out on patrol with us all the time. He had 2 mustard stains. So he had 2 combat jumps as a Ranger Regiment commander. So, yeah.
So what do we got going and looking forward?
Well, I'm looking forward to going home. And it's ICAST.
Well, I'll be going to Oklahoma next week.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little hog hunting. We're gonna
Yep.
film some hog hunting content, and I know you're getting ready to film some hog hunting content at some point.
End of the month. We just don't know if we're going to Oklahoma or we're going to stay here in Texas.
Texas, you and Patrick are working some stuff out.
Yeah, Patrick's got a bunch of dates set up for this hog show to get off the road.
We got a couple of new partners for the hunting side, from the Wilderness Company, new camouflage that we're gonna be doing some stuff with, and then we're going to McAllen, Texas, and also the World Deer, and same time, right? It's going to be going on right at the same time as ICAST is going on, World Deer in Birmingham. So,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So
We're going to have 3 things going on.
But yeah, on the 20th, I believe it's the 20th. I'd check my dates, but that weekend around the 20th is the Memorial Tournament in Kentucky. So,
I need to send them some raffle rods.
Yeah. So we're having a tournament that KB is going to put on up there, and that's going to be fun. I actually get to go be a part of that.
Yeah, you must ours.
hey, I was like, let me go home. I love you guys, but I had not been home in like,
He ain't gonna be home very long because he's gonna be back at my house. 'Cause we got shows every weekend in August.
We got TTH. Hey, we'll have to go. We'll have to go back out
I know.
on Galveston. You can sweat again.
Yeah, I know. Well, here's the other thing. So here's what you need to know too. So I'm being told that Macy's going to, well, she's going to Orlando to cheer next year. And so I'm being told that there's
Tell him why.
The UCCA's.
well, so our middle daughter Macy made one of the elite cheerleading teams in the country, Top Gun,
Yes.
and so very big deal for her. And so she's going to go live in Orlando next year and compete. And by the way, all of our kids are like very highly
Athletic.
motivated, competitive, and smart. I mean, Maggie, the oldest, was a great cheerleader, and she's very intelligent. Already finished her first year at Kentucky. She's gonna be a doctor of some sort. I'm just going to tell you guys that. we just don't know what yet. It was.
That's like everybody. They really don't know for a while.
She knows she's going to do maybe optometry or ophthalmology or something, but she's going to be doing something. And then you got James, who we're going this next week to Kentucky he's got a preferred walk-on to go to Kentucky. And then you got Macy, who made the all-star team for cheerleading. And then, Ethan, I just got the phone to him tonight. We were talking about high school football and he's coming into his own, and man, he was superb as an underclassman on the JV last year. So much so that I remember them making me talk about him in one of the varsity games. And when I say making me, that's the Booster Club president did. And
when you were calling the game,
yeah. And then Bryce, who I think he scored. He's a pretty good soccer player. So we were like, do about every kind of athletic things. And, because for us, but Macy's going to be coming to Houston to compete for a competition. So I figure at some point I'll have to make some more trips back to Texas to Houston for that. I guess we'll get Amy here to Texas one or the other,
She only been here, once for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. So now that Macy's coming.
So it's like brag, all roads lead to Texas?
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. But
Yep.
I mean, Macy did get a first recruiting email the other day from Baylor. So, it's getting real. So, yeah.
Yeah, and
we'll see.
Baylor's a private school.
Well, it's full scholarship.
Oh, well, that's good then for you.
Yeah. So it's so yeah, that's we might be down there more to fish out of Galveston than we know of. So
yeah, I can't wait for our next hunting show because I may have to go for a third
championship.
Yeah.
Well, that's only because I'm not competing. I mean, I don't think you have ever beat me in a competition if the record serves correctly.
I don't even think an Army Bass Angler Invitation. I might have beat you at that one. Cole and I came in second, but
yeah, that don't really count
because Cole,
Rory, I have a philosophy about invitationals. What's my philosophy? I don't really try.
No,
and they're not really an invitational.
One memorial, whatever.
Well, yeah, we changed them a memorial.
Yeah, for Mike.
We don't. I don't really try because I look at it this way. It's my time to interact with the
task force.
And I really don't like the pros going out there and trying too hard because if we were to beat the crap out of everybody all the time, the task force guys wouldn't come and be a part of it. And so I like those to be about the task force, not about the pro staff and us. And
yeah,
so,
but we were both task force and we won our first force on force.
I know that's why I have the feeling probably because that is we talked about this on this year's force on force on the bass side. We had David and Chad. We had the first our first task force team in a while. And back in the day, that's right. That's what we did it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you still give me a hard time about that, about Harold Allen. But
yeah. Well, that's the only guy that's ever beat me in force on force.
Yeah, but
you and Don and
but you were been how many had you been on fork a lot? when you did it?
No, that was the first time I'd ever been.
But they gave you, didn't you get a bunch of waypoints from Joe Bud on Fork?
No.
I know that. No, I know the story because Joe Bud's told me. Sorry, Tiger said you got a bunch of waypoints from.
No, I actually ran into Joe. I didn't even know he was one of our guys because we were staying in that camper, and I seen this guy in a yellow skeeter.
That little bumblebee he had.
Yeah, fishing in the creek right there where we were staying. And he just told me, he goes, "Oh yeah, this is a really good area in here." But we were catching them in there until the day of the tournament. But Rory can tell you, I mean, we were nice 70 degrees, and it went from 70 degrees to 40 degrees in
a few hours.
We ended up just going around to the next corner, and I think that's
the wind.
Yeah, the wind.
The wind was we had like 3-foot rollers out there.
That's Toledo Bend scared the crap out of me because I was not.
Oh no, Joe Bud gave me spots for our invitational.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, not when it was an actual invitational. But
I never like when we went to Toledo Bend, it was scared the crap out of me because they were going to give us somebody's boat that I didn't own. And we were going to run.
But you and I both won out of Don Brunson's boat. His boat was undefeated for a while.
For a long time, Don Brunson's boat.
Everybody wanted that boat.
Everybody wanted to fish out of that Don Brunson's boat. I think I was the first person to win.
It's up for sale if you all want to buy it, by the way. That's how much luck there is.
Yeah. I think till I won season 6 out of my own boat, I think that's the first time somebody else had won out of another boat. And then Don came back and won again the next year out of it. And
that's the one he beat me in the championship. Yeah. In the finals.
So that boat had spent a lot of time winning along the way. It had a lot, but it still scared me because I'm like, man, Toledo Bend is intimidating. I ain't gonna lie, man. Toledo Bend is intimidating.
Well, how do you think it felt us giving our boats up?
Exactly. That's what I'm telling you. Like, that's why, like, y'all still give me a hard time about, it was worth the money to pay Harold to figure out how to run around that thing because that thing is scary. If you, like, Pete, like.
Your camera boat couldn't keep up with
you. Yeah, the camera boat.
That was your old boat.
That was Jeff's boat.
Jeff's boat.
Yeah, he couldn't keep up. Like it was a scary place to run around. I mean, I'd never seen anything like it before. And
well, you know what the worst part was? Is I had to take the camera guy up on the final day to follow you up there.
In Jeff's boat?
No, in my boat.
Oh, in your boat?
Yeah. Yeah, I followed you up there, so I had to watch you guys win.
Yeah, and it was that's what like I realized like Jeff and I made a deal. I told him I'll run a trolling motor if you drive the boat because I realized that Jeff had a relationship with Don, and I'm like,
that would have made it different.
Yeah, but I figured at least.
Yeah, but on the way up there, I
wouldn't care who was driving.
I know, but at least he knew. I know, but at least he knew Don a little bit better than I did. I felt a little bit better about him being the one who did it, not me.
But then you guys ran out of gas in the tanks.
Yeah. Don didn't unlock that side of the locker. You know that story, right?
No.
You didn't know this? Oh,
I never knew that.
Oh man. So like we're running up through there this is the finals, right?
Uh-huh.
We're running going to the
it was over an hour run.
Yeah, I think I've got to hit the longest run in Fortune. Don probably made the same run when he won.
Yeah,
no, he was only halfway up.
Oh, he's only halfway up. Anyways, I've got the longest run in Fortune history. We're running up there, and we done made that run that morning, and we're running that.
Mm-hmm.
We're running again, and it's that I-class got 2 fuel tanks on it, right?
Right.
Well, we didn't swap. Because back to it's not your boat, whatever. Like we didn't think about it. Jeff run it slap dab out of gas in that fuel tank, man. Right.
Right in the boat lane. They just shut down.
Shut down in the boat lane.
Mm-hmm.
And it's rough. It's rough out there in the boat lane that afternoon. And the boat, I'm like, and all I could think is, I'm like, we have come this far to have a mechanical malfunction, and it takes us a minute to figure out that the freaking gas, they run out of gas in the gas tank. Got to switch the gas tank, and so we figured out to switch the gas tank. But the problem was, once you ran out of gas, you got to pump that bulb.
Yes.
Because you sucked it.
Prime it back up.
Yeah, and it was a north wind, so they had, it was a north wind.
Well, and so how that I-class had 2
lids
back there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the lid that where the bulb was locked, and and you couldn't like reach down up underneath it like this
Mm-hmm.
to get, I can't remember, something like that. So literally, I'm on with that lid open, my feet hanging out in the water, the boat bouncing up and down in these 3-foot rollers out there, trying to reach underneath there, way back underneath there, and find this bulb. And I finally found it and squeeze it and get it tight and get it filled back, get the boat cranked. That happened.
But I had one of your guys' brothers with me in the camera.
Well, that was Aiden that we had that was fishing for freedom.
Yeah.
Aiden was with you in the camera boat with him. And
Well, it's like when I had my first eye class, no one told me about that, and I had the tank was on full bore, and I was just going everywhere and everything. And I was telling Chuck, I said, "This thing's got some damn good gas mileage," but I had it on the wrong tank. I was reading until I ran out of gas.
Yeah, I had that. I had the same thing on that FX, that first FX I had.
Mm-hmm.
I had to take it over there because remember they brought it to me at the owners tournament, and I put gas in it, and it still wasn't reading it, right? Like there was this, you have to switch the switch down there, and and do the button over there, and the thing is located inside behind the driver's seat in that compartment back there, and then it was. I was so glad when they went to that single fuel tank. I was not a big fan of
They went from the I class to the FXI to the FX.
Yeah, I didn't like the split fuel tank.
No, I didn't either.
I like the one fuel tank deal.
Even though it said you could run off both tanks at the same time, it always kind of vapor locked in there.
Yeah, it was bad. I didn't. It was scary to me, like. But I actually took it over there to the monkey and him and told him it was broke, and they had to I felt stupid because they had to give me I'm like, here's the deal, guys. They just brought this boat to me and threw me the keys. I was like, they didn't nobody give me the walker or anything.
It's almost as bad as a guy leaving a wallet out on them.
No, that's not nearly as bad.
No, not nearly as bad.
At least I had an excuse. I mean, they just threw me the keys literally, and that was my orientation to it.
Tens of thousands of dollar credit cards sitting out there, and he worries about his damn batteries.
Yeah,
my wife would have whipped my ass.
She doesn't know yet. She'll know.
No, I told her.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
She gave me the SMH emoji on.
Yeah. Yeah. So
she said, "Good thing you're pretty."
Yeah.
Oh no, I know better than that.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the great 404 stories of that whole deal where we were like, oh my goodness. So yeah, the fun times of that. Yeah, and that was what was cool about seeing Aiden there last year at the Fishing for Freedom, and
and
got to take a picture with him,
and he got to fish on the tournament. We got to put him on TV again. Things come full circle around there, and
he's a dad.
I know.
Yeah, married, got a kid.
Yeah,
he come in there with his family. I'm going, wow.
Oh yeah, and he was like what? 10 years old, 11 years old.
Oh, I know. See, you don't realize how fast time gets away from you. James graduated, and one of my guys said something to me. He's like, I can't believe James graduated. I go, dude, you realize it was 18 years ago we were in Afghanistan, right? I'm like, he was like, no. It's like, no way. He's like, it's really been, I'm like, yeah, it was 18 years ago. We were in Afghanistan. I'm like, it's like,
yep.
I'm a grandpa, so trust me, I know about. I'm like, when the heck did that happen?
Yeah,
hell, I'm a great grandfather.
It's how did you're just sitting there thinking, but yeah, it was cool to see all that, and see how that came to fruition, and the whole deals and that. But it's all good. We got a lot of stuff coming up, and we enjoy these podcasts on the road and how we do all this stuff. We got a lot of things going on out there, and I appreciate Robert and Roy sitting down and making fun of each other. Now, these are the best ones where we just kind of have no real agenda when we go into. We have some good ones where we have agendas, but I love these where we don't have. We just kind of tell stories about things that we've done along the way.
Yeah, and if anybody out there wants to hear anything, wants to talk about anything, just let us know, and we'll bring it on.
Yeah, we'll get subjects, topics. There's a couple of times that I've been on a few different podcasts, things like that. There's some cool stuff. I do this I get on other people's podcasts and things like that, and we tell stories because it's what it's all about right now. We get to tell the stories about our time, so we enjoy it. I appreciate Robert bringing his boat down. We're going to go out and catch some fish tomorrow.
Yes.
And we're going to have fun. So, hey, if you want to know more about Army Buck, Duck, Hog, or Redfish, go to forceonforcetv.com, and we'll see you next time. Ooh.
Thanks for listening to the Force on Force podcast. Join us next time as we dive into more topics from the Force on Force talk. For more information or to learn how to join the organization, visit our website at forceonforcetv.com.